Good evening to you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you had a great day. All right, it's time to share all this fun BS with you because that's what most of this is, guys. Again, it's a disinformation campaign to mislead and confuse you guys. All right. So, first article, guys, we're not even going to read this. It just says accumulating economic crisis. We will declare bankruptcy in Iraq. This is complete BS. I'm not going to waste your time or my time on this. We're going to move forward. So, I'm just trying to show you the amount of BS out there. The region delivered all what Baghdad requested and is waiting for positive steps to implement Article 140. We have some newbies, so let's explain what this is and what it's waiting on. So Article 140, guys, remember Saddam Hussein did Kurdistan wrong. He stole some of their land, money, assets, all that. So what Article 140 does is it's the financial reparations. It's money where the government of Iraq or Baghdad, okay, is going to give the Kurdish citizens money back for damages of where they were done wrong, reparations by Saddam Hussein. So that's what it is. But again, this law, it's actually an article of the Constitution. Today, the current Constitution only goes up to Article 139. You can Google that and you'll see it. So in order for them to add this to the Constitution, they have to amend the Constitution and add it to it. So some people seem to think that this has to be approved. I mean, you could call it really approval. It's actually, guys, just so you know, it's actually been approved on the books, ready to go since 2005. The real reason they have not been able to implement it, it's very simple. It's because it's part of social reforms. It's money they're giving back to the citizens. So it's dependent on the rate change. They cannot and will not even amend and add this to the Constitution, guys, until the rate change occurs, okay? This can't be even started till the rate change occurs. That's really what it's waiting on, okay? Because again, they've had this approved, ready to go since 2005, okay? The Kurdistan Democratic Party announced on Tuesday that it has delivered all the numbers and data requested by the federal government regarding the number of employees, oil contracts, their nature, and the contracting companies. A spokesman for the parliamentary party bloc said the Kurdistan Regional Government has delivered all the numbers and data requested by the federal government, whether related to the number of employees, oil contracts, their nature, and companies contracting with them. He added the basis of Iraq's stability is resolving differences between the center and the region, and its impact will be positive for the people from Basra and the region. Okay? Mohammed indicated that there are parties, he did not name, trying to obstruct them. The argument in return, other parties contribute in their role to reach a solution that satisfies all parties. There are complex files, whether in the oil file, Article 140, the Peshmerga, and the region's share of the budget, but in most of these files, we have taken good steps towards a solution. Aram concluded his statement by saying the successive political and health crisis over the 2 past years may have prevented reaching tangible results on the ground, but despite this, there are productive steps. The head of the Iraqi coalition said during his meeting with Amir of the Islamic group in Kurdistan and his accompanying delegation that dialogue and concessions are in public interest and that everyone has a culture of compromise and meeting in the middle is sufficient to find a solution to the outstanding problems. So there you guys go. Again, it's just everything even to be started is simply waiting on the rate change. But that's good that they're talking about it. It shows you a lot, or reveals a lot to you that they're talking about it. Today, Tuesday, October 6th, the Ministry of Finance announced it will pay employee salaries starting tomorrow, Wednesday. We are not reading this because that would have nothing to do with the rate change or Iraq going international. They've been paying their salaries this entire time. All it does, guys, is just shows good faith, nothing more. Has nothing to do with what we're looking for. The America offers investment opportunities on the Kurdistan region. This is good, guys, because the only reason an outside foreign country could step into a different country, such as the U.S. going into Iraq, and offer investment opportunities in the Kurdistan region, guys, Iraq has to become international for that. So that's just more confirmation that Iraq's preparing to go international. So that's a good move. That's what we're looking for. Prime Minister of Kurdistan Regional Government Barzani on Tuesday received a U.S. Deputy Assistant Secretary of State of Iraq, David Copley, A statement issued by the regional government today stated that in the meeting attended by U.S. Consul General in Erbil, the two sides discussed the latest developments in the situation in Iraq and the region and ways to consolidate relations between Kurdistan and the United States. Copley expressed his country to strengthen relations with Kurdistan, especially in the commercial field, and encourage American companies to increase their investments in Iraq and Kurdistan. He added that the trade conference in this region will be launched next month, guys, and that's another one I wanted to show you. They're actually launching a big trade conference, and remember, guys, trade means their currency has to be internationally recognized, and they're launching this trade conference next month, which would be in November. He also indicated that there are multiple investment opportunities for American investors in Iraq and the Kurdistan region. The Prime Minister stressed that one of the priorities of the ninth ministerial formation is based on diversifying the sources of the economy, developing the agriculture sector, protecting local products, and providing the large amount of facilities for local and foreign investors, stressing the importance of settling problems with the federal government. The statement quoted that the Prime Minister is saying solving the outstanding problems between Kurdistan and the federal government is an important factor in achieving stability in Iraq and the region, guys. Guys, I brought that to you quite a while ago. Remember I told you Iraq has to achieve stability before they can go international, and here you go. They're telling you again. Democratic region. The region delivered all what Baghdad requested and is awaiting positive steps to implement Article 140. Guys, we just talked about that, went into great detail. So basically, again, Kurdistan's just saying that they've performed all of their obligations and requirements to the Baghdad region, to give them X amount of oil and all that, and they've been doing it so that they can get Article 140 activated. But guys, as you know, Article 140 cannot be implemented until the rate is changed. It's rate change dependent for implementation. Al-Kadhimi discussed with the U.S. ambassador and the leader of the international coalition the implementation of the outcomes of the strategic dialogue. So right here, guys, they're still let's see what this says. Let's see what this says. Mustafa Kadhimi received on Tuesday, October 6th, the U.S. ambassador to Iraq, Matthew Toller, accompanied by the commander of the coalition forces against terrorism in Iraq. Prime Minister Mustafa Kadhimi received the U.S. ambassador and leader of the international coalition against terrorism. Prime Minister Kadhimi received Tuesday U.S. ambassador. Okay. His Excellency discussed the development of relations between the United States and Iraq in the security field with the latest ongoing efforts to pursue the remnants of the terrorist ISIS organization. The meeting also dealt with the files related to the implementation of the outcomes of strategic dialogue between Iraq and the United States. So this has nothing to do with the dialogue between Kurdistan and Baghdad. Okay? Kadhimi discusses with the U.S. ambassador and the leader of the international coalition and the implementation of the outcomes of strategic... Hold on. Was this the one? Sorry about that, guys. It's the same article we just did. Let's move forward. All right, this article, guys, I did a quick brief, or like a look through on this earlier. This article had just some good little tidbits in it. And it says, and finally, Iraq Finance announces the date for salary disbursement. You guys already know that step, paying the salaries, that has nothing to do with what we're looking for, but again, it shows good faith. So let's look at the article. Let's see if there's any little good tidbits in here. The Iraqi Ministry of Finance announced Tuesday that it will start distributing salaries for the month of September tomorrow, while noting that financial pressure in the country will continue. The ministry said in a statement that the late payments of the public sector salaries for the month of September will begin to be paid in full from tomorrow. The ministry indicated that it is obligated to fulfill its obligations despite the severe shortage of revenue facing the country, and looks forward to cooperating with the House of Representatives and the relevant authorities in order to develop quick solutions to address the current economic and financial crisis. The ministry noted that financial pressure in the country will continue in the foreseeable future as the country's main source of income from oil exports will constantly be affected by global decline in demand and the massive outbreak of the corona pandemic. Well, that's funny, guys, because they kind of just told you yesterday that oil at $40 a barrel is actually covering their salaries. So right here, they're lying to you again. Again, that BS factor I keep telling you about. The Ministry of Finance stated that it appreciates the urgent demands on the federal budget from all directions, noting that Iraq is facing an economic emergency with all the bypass and national unity and cooperation between all parties. She indicated that the task force led by the ministry has completed the white paper for economic reform. So guys, that's important. They're telling you right here that they have all of the white paper reforms completed, explaining that it is in the process of finalizing the 3-year budget. That's the 21 to 23 budget. But remember, guys, they would have to have all their figures calculated first. They would have to know what all their figures are before they could approve the budget. So that would make sense that the white paper reforms would have to be. Remember, I've been telling you the entire time that the reforms have to be funded from within the budget. They're telling you that right here. They're confirming that step that I shared to you, telling you that the white paper reforms are married to the budget. They're telling you that. They're right there. They've completed the white paper reforms and explaining that it's now in the process of completing the budget, guys. That's the white paper reforms don't need approval. They're a budget allocation. So all they have to do is approve the budget, not the reforms, okay? The process of reform will change and lead to a more robust economy, contribute to raising the living standards for our people. Right there, guys, the process reform will change and lead to a more robust economy, guys. That's called a rate change and going international is what that means, okay? Remember, I keep telling you, this budget is married to the rate change and it's dependent on the rate change because it has reforms in it. They just told you that right there. She said at the end of her statement, again, I'm going to read that to you. The process of reform and change will lead to a more robust economy and contribute to raising the living standards of our people. Okay? That statement's telling you that because the budget has reforms in it, it's married to the rate change, which allows them to have a more robust economy because they'll go international. The government of Iraqi Prime Minister Mustafa Kadhimi is facing increasing criticism for its inability to secure sufficient liquidity to pay the salaries of state employees, which may expose it to tremendous pressure in the coming months. By the end of a week in October, the government had yet to disperse employee salaries for the month of September. The Iraqi government is struggling to secure employee salaries. No, they're not, because they already told us oil at $40 a barrel covers it. Haha, liars. And other operating expenses due to the collapse in oil prices. Did you guys know it really only costs them it's roughly $15 to $20 to extract a barrel of oil? That's it, $15 to $20. It might be like around 17, but I know it's like 15 to 20. Let's just round up 20 for easy math. So if they're getting $20 for a barrel of oil, guys, that means they're at a 50% profit even if they make 40. Okay? So it doesn't really cost them that much. So when they keep saying here that they're having a huge shortage of money, remember, guys, they didn't have to borrow money from, during the whole first half of the year, they didn't have to borrow money, guys. That's because the oil, even at $40 a barrel, was enough money to cover their operating expenses and cover salaries. So all these, they're just pumping lies to you left and right. The country relies on revenues from selling crude finance, 95% of state expenditures, guys. Plus, they came out, I showed you guys an article a few days ago where they also came out saying that they've had like a record income from tax revenue. So they're not reliant just upon oil now. And when I last spoke with my Iraqi contact, guys, they've actually had taxes active through the whole first half of this year. Since the beginning of this year, they've been collecting tax revenue. Okay, so money's not as tight as they're telling you. They are clearly lying to you. Okay. Anyway, guys, you guys are the best. God bless you guys, and have a great and wonderful evening. Take care. Enjoy the news. On to the next video.